Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now today we are filming something, well, quite special. This is my friend Eddie's Stage 3 Ford Fiesta ST track build. This thing is absolutely mental and I can't wait to get into it and show you all around it. Thanks very much for watching and I hope you enjoy. So yes, here is the Fiesta ST track thing, and I thought it would be best to mention the elephant in the room first of all, the absolutely ginormous front splitter and air dam. Well, it's a beast, isn't it? In every single photo, every single video you take of this car, you cannot escape that. So we have the full buffalo board splitter, very strong, very light, and very cost effective for what it is. It was fully made by the owner on his own. It looks phenomenal. We have the aluminium air dam here to stop air passing through underneath, pulling that splitter down beyond where it needs to be pulling down. It is, well, it's bonkers. The whole front end is particularly bonkers. We've got these high-vis looking tow ropes here. We've got the big pro written in there because that is what the driver is, a pure pro. I'm sure he'll be very happy with me saying that. And these absolutely huge canards here as well. I'm not sure if he made them himself, but I don't think he did. They're a bit too nice for that. So of course, yes, jokes aside, the pro written here is not for the driver. It is a pro alloy intercooler coming up to the Mount Tune MR265 Turbo. We have the intake down here where the fog light used to be, of course, very proper. We'll take a look under the bonnet and we'll have a look at everything going on under there because it is a lot. Now, unfortunately, when I said there is a lot going on under this bonnet, what I meant was a lot of plastic. Unfortunately, the Fiesta ST is plagued with plenty of plastic covering all the goodies under the bonnet. But there is a lot of goodies to be found. You just have to look for them. So we have the full intake here going into that MR265 Turbo. That is the power of this car, by the way, 265 horsepower. She moves. We have the intake going down to here, obviously, and we have the full Miltech exhaust that sounds very fruity, but not particularly loud, which is good because, as you probably know, Fiestas have got quite a bad rap for being a bit obnoxious. So yes, now, as I was saying, unfortunately, the Fiesta does have a slightly bad rap for being a bit obnoxious in times. Maybe not due to the actual car, but unfortunately due to the owner. No offense to any Fiesta ST owners out there that like their pops and bangs. But yeah, unfortunately, due to some of those owners, this car, it's not the most popular at the minute in the UK, and I do think that is a shame because this car is phenomenal, to say the least. It drives absolutely brilliantly. As well as driving brilliantly, the car looks phenomenal. I don't understand why these aren't an absolute cult following. They are unbelievably good looking cars. They drive great, they sound great, they're a bargain for what they are. And I just think they get so much of a bad name for not a lot wrong with them, really. They've got great boot space, they're economical, they're fun to drive. For the car to go past. Yeah, they're fun to drive, and I don't really know what else to say, really. It's a great car, and I really think they're a bit underrated. I saw, when I posted a photo of this car on my Instagram story, on my TikTok, follow me there if you want to, the car gets a lot of hate. And I think that's probably mostly due to the massive questionable front splitter. The car at the minute, by the way, I should mention, is very front heavy in terms of modifications, at least aesthetics wise. But the rear of the car will be getting a rather large aero wing and a rather large diffuser to match, obviously helping with the aerodynamics of this car and the downforce on the track. They are being built, and once that's done, I'm sure me and Eddie will set up a update video to take a look at this car's final form. It's gonna look nuts. Now, of course, I did mention this car does have a full Miltech exhaust. The car isn't particularly loud, as I mentioned, so we probably won't get much of a sound clip, but it does make a nice noise. And I'm sure we'll probably hear that at some point from Eddie giving it a few revs. I also should mention the obvious Mount Tune badging to show what car this secretly is hidden underneath. That's not the only hidden thing around the rear of this car, but you probably best see that when the boot's open. So yes, as I mentioned, this car is absolutely full of surprises. Here we have the highlighter yellow roll cage. It does make it quite hard to get in and out of the car, but of course adds quite a lot to the safety. It's, well, quite a bold colour, which I think is a good thing because it shows people that this car is not messing around, and neither is the owner. This is a full-on track build. This car is not made for the road, although being road legal, barely. This thing's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's bonkers, and I will keep saying that throughout this video because that's exactly how I feel about it. I think the owner has gotten a little bit used to this car and doesn't really see how bonkers it is, but I'm sure everyone in the comments will agree. It is. It's outrageous. This build is outrageous, and it's outrageously fun, and I think that's the most important thing. So before I go more into what this car is about, why it was built, and more technical facts about the build, I think it's best that we go to a new location, get the car out on the road and see a little bit of what this thing can do. So guys, here we are at the second location in Burnham-on-Crouch. We're outside this beautiful old church. I think it looks awesome. Look at the thing. We're going to go into a little bit more about the technical aspects of this car, the wheel specs, the interior, things like that, and we'll find out more about what makes this car so special. So yes, we're going to go more into the wheel specs and the suspension on the car right now. Unfortunately, there is so much on here that I can't remember it all, so I'm going to bring it over to Ed to explain everything that's on the car. If he could come close to the camera and explain what's going on here, because I can't.
Gas gold coilovers, EBC RPX pads on 15-inch Team Dynamics, ET28 front, ET35 rear, and I think coilovers are in about 3-degree negative camber.
And the tyres?
NS2Rs, Nankangs, pretty box standard, 195, 50, 15s. Going to go something a bit more aggressive in the future. That's about it.
About it, really?
Yeah.
Sweet. That's about it. So it's at this point that I would usually film these cinematics of me getting in the car and reviewing the interior, but unfortunately with this car it's a little bit different. I can't just hop in. You'll see what I mean. It's not a lot of room. I could take the steering wheel off, but I feel the comedic value would go down just a touch if I tried to do this in an easier way. So we're going to give that a go now. So I think the best way to start with this is foot in, and then we'll go in like this, fall in the seat, shoe in, and it's that easy. So here we are. This is the interior of this absolutely mental Fiesta. It is, as I said, full track build. The steering wheel it does that. Obviously you bring that with you every time you go into McDonald's to go and pick up your girlfriend for ultimate call points. The car is, well, echoey, as I'm sure you can hear. There is not much interior left. We do have a little bit of interior left up the front, but that's about it. The back end is nothing. The roof is nothing. The footwells is nothing. This car is nothing but lightweight, leaving things that you need for a half pleasant driving experience in terms of, you know, the heating controls and the aircon and stuff like that. But outside of that, it's nothing. There's nothing to this car, and it is very, very light as a result of that, as I will show you later on in the video. The gearbox is, to my knowledge, stock. We have the stock gear selector here. It's very nice. The ST comes with a lovely gear selector from factory, so there's no reason to change that whatsoever. The steering wheel, Is a turn 1 quick release on a Boss kit. I don't know what brand this is. I don't even think Eddie knows what brand this is. But the turn 1 quick release steering wheel. Pop that on, you're good to go. We have various other mods, the obvious one being the absolutely massive roll cage, the extra wide rear view mirror. We have the bucket seats and the harnesses here, which are blue and yellow to match the rest of the car, which I think is very cool. This bucket seat is worth mentioning. The passenger side is a Corbu. I don't know what model it is. Sorry, I should have asked Eddie first. Actually, I will ask him. What's the model of your passenger seat? Club Sport XL. Dream. Club Sport. So yeah, we've got Corbu Club Sport bucket seat in the passenger side, and the driver's side is worth mentioning because this is a McLaren bucket seat off of the 570S GT4 car. I'll pop a photo up somewhere there. The thing's nuts. It's got these huge side bolsters here. It hugs your thighs, and in my case, your fat thighs. It's very hard to fit into this thing as it is without the huge roll cage going up the side of the door. This to bang your head on, this to get out of the way. It's a bit of an event, this car. It's not practical, but who's kidding? If this was built for practicality, it wouldn't look like this. The thing is loud, it is rattly, it is echoey, but I love that. I love every single thing about that. Eddie has built this car for him, for his needs. He was saying that every so often in winter, he tends to start regretting stripping the car out, but the second he gets back on track, he realizes why he did it and brings back that love for what he has done to this car, because it is absolutely bonkers and rapid on track. I'm sure I'll be able to get a clip or at least some pictures from Eddie later on to pop up in the video. But yeah, this thing is bonkers. It's nuts and I love it, and I'm sure you will all love it as well. At least I hope you do, because well, you're going to see a lot of it in this video. But yeah, this thing is absolutely outrageous, and I hope you all like it because I absolutely love it. I think this thing is hilarious in every way, absolutely bonkers, and you cannot get any better than a stripped out hatchback track car. I'm telling you, it's the best. It's the best feeling ever. The only thing that's ever so slightly better than a stripped out track hatchback that is the Fiesta ST is an ultra long Jaguar XJ from 30 years ago. Much better. One thing I will mention is the obscene technique to getting into this car is not the only worries you have. The last worry you have to deal with is putting on the harnesses. Now, obviously, you don't want to be sitting on them. You need to get up and pull these out like this, and you put them on your lap, and then you pull your shoulder ones out, and this is really easy and it looks really good. You know, if you need to rush home in an emergency, it's very fun doing this every single time. And you pull this bit over and you get the bottom part and you push in the shoulders. Obviously, if any of you are track fiends, you will know all about this. You put these bits over here and you strap them together and you lock yourself in, and then you tighten yourself down. And that whole process takes about 4.5 minutes to get in and out of this car. It's bonkers. Well, for me it does anyway. For Eddie it takes a matter of seconds, but getting used to this is a bit bizarre, but oh, I just love it. I really want one. Now, before the video continues, I did just want to say a massive thank you for today's video sponsor and sponsor of the channel, longtime friend Essex Car Meets. They've got great events. I really appreciate everyone for turning up to the recent one, which is today actually at the time of filming this. Thank you everyone that bought tickets. And I did just want to say, please, for all future events, I don't think there's any more for this year, but for the start of next year, remember my discount code TJF20 for 20% off. Thanks very much. So, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, this thing is, well, ridiculously light, and I thought the best way to test that would be to go and get it and bring it on screen. So I'll go and get the car now. This is not a joke. No one is pushing this. It's ridiculous. This car is obnoxiously light. It is unbelievable how easy that was to do, and I thought that would be quite a funny way to show you what a beast this thing is. You can imagine what it's like driving this around country lanes, 265 horsepower, and it weighs nothing. Hilarious. So everyone, that is the end of the video. I wanted to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video of Ed's track build. I just wanted to say as well a huge thank you to Ed for letting me use the car for the channel. Thank you. I'll pop his Instagram somewhere around here. He's going to have a lot more content with this car coming soon. So yeah, give him a follow if you enjoy this car and want to see more of it on track, out on the streets, whatever. It is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers, bye.